Hello guys, welcome back to the weekly review. We're looking at US30, and at the start of the week we're in that support area, came below, closed below, but we had that doji right there. We came there as a retest and that down bearish engulfing. But looking at that, we had another doji, right, having a bearish engulfing, and now we're looking at building momentum towards the upside. Giving our first touch or second touch, we're looking at now creating sort of higher highs. And as you can see here, we created another higher high, but now what happened here, we had a double top formation, and a double top formation is now a reversal in trend, and so upon the double top formation we expected a retest onto this now onto the support area, but it broke below, came down to this area, right, retesting that support area, right. No, this was now our resistance zone because now the market was below it. It was now 10 resistance, but now when it shot back, KK, the retest went back up. We're now looking at this was another high for us as well. Looking at that high, it gave us a retest, came back to retest that support area. When it retested that high as well, now we're looking at that first touch, that second touch. We're looking now that we are in a bearish momentum, right? We're creating that's a lower high, and a lower high that was our lower low. So now we're looking at that being our first touch, that being our second, our third touch. You can see that downward trend as well. So now once we got here, we're looking for that retest here, but on that retest we think before we end up, we're looking at that being our first touch, our second touch. We're also looking at this formation being a double bottom signaling a reversal, and we're looking at our buy until this high area there. But if you look at the market did shoot up, but it did not necessarily reach that high, so it took us down with a loss. If you're not monitoring that, if you did monitor it, you were able to see that, yeah, right, that trend line form showing that it was the perfect time to enter when that candlestick closed right there with the small profits, right. But yeah, it came back down, right. It came back down, and as it came back down, you can see now we got to this area where now it was creating a resistance area, right. You can see kept retesting that area, giving us forming a strong resistance area, and it finally broke, testing that greater our weekly low. Now this is a strong, since this is our weekly low, we know that this is a strong support area, so the probability of reversals are high, and so that's why we see it's a reversal. But when we're looking at reversal, we're looking to when the market gets here, we're looking to sell, but it did until back to here before we can look at another buys. But what the market did, closed shot above and closed right on the trend line, came back below, shot back again, and then you can see it was playing around in that resistance area, right. If it played around in that resistance area, was giving us a consolidation, but with consolidation the market always continues in the direction that it was in, so it gave us another impulsive move towards the upside. As you're right, as we can see that we're coming here towards the upside to that consolidation, but the consolidation will also mean a reversal. And once we got here back to this, now it was a resistance area. You can see now that resistance area plus that high as well. Now the market did shoot back up below, but as well as you can see, the time it shot up was at 6 p.m. and what's important to know that today is NFP week, so because this impulsive movement up right here was caused by the NFP news at 2:30 South African Standard Time. But yeah, the market did came back down for a retest, and you can see the market closing below within this area right here. But yeah, that's going to be it for US30. Looking at Ger40, you can see upon market open, we are also looking at that impulsive move. But what we're also looking at was that this rising wedge, and you can see the rising wedge did take shape, and we did go up in that upward movement of the rising wedge, right. You can see we had our first touch, second touch, but you can see the gap was getting narrow, signaling a rising wedge, and we closed below above that area right there, and then came to this resistance area, right. And what also we can see that we are still below that trend, downward trend. So we're looking to now, when the market comes retests here, we're looking to sell. But what we also notice that we are still in that resistance area. So we're also looking for sell areas there. But once it broke, give us those were retests, because you can see that doji right there, and then you can see the market coming back down. Reversals, because doji is an indecision candlestick. You can see now the market did come back down to the support area, give us a retest, and then shot back up. But what you can see as well is, once it was shooting up, it was creating another lower low. So now we can show that we are still in downward trend, right? Creating another lower high, not a lower low, a lower high, creating a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. You can see that we are still in that downward movement until we reach tail. There we saw that that's a double bottom and a double bottom again. It's a reversal pattern. You can see that we shot back up again. When we reach this area right here, we can see that this is an area where the market formed an area of resistance, and you can see that it's an area of consolidation as well, right? You can see that the market was consolidating in this area, but again the market continues in the direction of the consolidation before it consolidated, and you can see it shot back down up again until it reached that well, not exactly, but it was close to that resistance area. It did reach this area, right? This small resistance area, but that was our overall weekly resistance, and you can see it shot back down again. But yeah, that's going to be it for Ger40. Now looking at gold, we can see now that when the market opened with gold, we are below that resistance area, because we closed below into what's now a resistance area. We can see we gave that a retest. Now we're looking to, upon retest, closing below retest, we are now looking to sell, right? Upon selling, we're looking to take our profit target. Now I'm just looking for let the market load. Just give it a second. While it still loads, that's right. We are looking to upon retest, but upon retest, that's same entry when the market retests, because now we can see that we are looking at the market going down. But also you can see that trade management is very important, because as you can see, it did go down in our direction upon that retest, but then came back to retest for a retest and gain momentum towards the upside, right? Upon gaining momentum towards the upside, it came back down again, and now what we can see is that downward trend forming. We have that first touch, that second touch, and then we can see that it gives us lower highs, lower lows, and lower highs. You can see we're going down in that. Right, you can see that the market was coming back down, and then we reached that our weekly low, and upon reaching our weekly low, now this was an area, strong area of reversal, because now this is our weekly low. It's a strong low. Go look at the weekly focus for that. But then what we can see happening right here is that the market did gain momentum towards the upside, because now we're at the bottom of that trend line, that downward trend line. We're at the bottom, and once we're at the bottom, we are looking for buys. But what you can see that we had a fake out right here, right? The market gave us a fake out. If you look at that on our time frame, you look at that, this was a fake out, right? But then now we build momentum towards the upside, eventually becoming close. Now we are testing that high which is now a low because the market's below above it. But yeah, that's gonna be it for gold. Looking at US 100, and you can see upon market open, we came back down there, gaining momentum. As you can see, we're creating higher highs and higher lows. We're looking at that upward movement towards the upside until that resistance area where we came back. Now we're looking once in this resistance area here, we're looking monitoring for to go short or to sell to come back down to this low area right here. And the market did obey. We entered, go down into right here. As you can see, we're also looking at this area right here for more entry confirmation. While we're looking at this area right here, so the candle closed, took our sell entry until this area right here. Upon here, we're looking at that secondary test. We're looking for the market to go up, right? Because now this is an area, this is a low, and so the market ranges from high to low, high to low, high to low. So you can see now, since we are at the low, we are looking to come back up. Upon reaching this up, although we didn't take this entry right here, upon reaching this up, we're now looking for a retest to come back down. Right, and it did. We're looking to come back down here, but it didn't, and gave us a second retest. When it gave us that second retest, was a strong confirmation for us to sell until this area right here, and then the market did because first we entered that sell right here, and you can see it took us out, and then we entered another sell. We came back to that low area right there, but now it closed below, came back to retest this area right here, forming this area right there, this support area right there. But since it closed below, it gave us that area is now a resistance area, right? The support area right here. So my network is so slow, that's why everything this is doing ahmak at the moment. But then as you can see, the market then came back up, retesting that area right there. But then due to NFP, that's what happened right here. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the weekly focus. If you like this type of share, subscribe, comment, yeah, let's do the most. Peace.